What if this isn't your peak? Not because your life is bad, but because your best days may still be ahead of you. Today, I'm going to talk to you about the three lessons that I learned in hitting a peak, falling to the valley, and climbing back up to my next peak. I'm Cece May. Welcome back to another video. In my last video, I told you about how I became a flight attendant and how God used that as my vehicle to leave St. Louis. I left St. Louis on such a high. My nanny family had thrown me a going away party. My family came, even a couple of my college friends came. It felt like a full circle moment. We ended the party with them cheering, C's the best. C's the best. Of course, one of the kids started the chant, but I really didn't feel like the best. What I felt like was a woman that was determined to go after my purpose and my destiny. So that's what I did. I left St. Louis and I flew off to North Carolina for training, which leads me to lesson number one. Success isn't a finish line. It felt like I was successful now. I had a career that I was good at. I was in the healthiest relationship I'd ever been, and I was out of St. Louis, which was like my next biggest thing that I wanted to do. I had done those things. This was the moment that I realized that God was not finished. Now, this job had afforded me to be able to buy a car. I had left my car in St. Louis, so I was able to buy a car. But quickly I realized I was broke. I was making $800 every 2 weeks and not even a full $800. Like, I was broke. I had quickly ran through my savings and maxed out my credit cards. I was in a situation. Not only that, in that first year of being a flight attendant, I was on reserve. So I was sitting at home. They call you if they need you. They don't need you. I was just sitting at home. And I didn't know enough to work the system. So I was just at home. Now, I became the best homemaker I possibly could because I am a person that believes that no matter the situation that you're in, put your best foot forward, give it everything you can, and be the best you can at it. So that's what I did. But then I started to think to myself, you're crying every single check because it's not enough. And because you're on call, they could call you at any time. So working a regular second job would be kind of hard because they could call you at any moment and you had 2 hours to get to the airport, dressed and ready, and possibly to go on a trip for 3, 4, 5, 6 days. So I thought to myself, God, this could not be what you imagined for me. This is this really what the plan was? Like, is this like how did I get here? I was on such a high. How did I get here? So that led me to lesson number two, taking a risk and stepping out on faith. I decided my crying days about this were over. Now I have been applying to jobs, nothing came through. And I do mean nothing. So I decided to be a Lyft driver. I was like, surely I can at least make $800 a week and not $800 every 2 months, every 2 weeks. And I did that. I did that. I made my own schedule. I was driving the morning people to work. I was there for the lunch people. And when rush hour came, honey, I was home. But that led to, of course, something happening. I got into an accident. Not only did I get into my first accident, my car was totaled. I had only had this car for about 3 or 4 months. I was just devastated. I had feel like I literally had hit rock bottom. Like, I didn't have any money. I didn't have a job, and I didn't have a car. So now I was like, what am I going to do? I've always been a resourceful person, so I look around and see what I can use around me to get me to wherever I need to that get to. Saying, which
How
led
when you
me
hit
to
rock
lesson
bottom,
number
there's nowhere to go
three.
but
Up. Yeah. So I realized that I was being set up once again by God, another vehicle. I realized that I was living across the street from a job that I had worked at in college. And I was devastated thinking about even going back over there because I just felt like I was done with that. I had did that already. And I am not a person that likes to keep reliving experiences, but I went anyway. I was humbled and I went anyway. I did the interview and I got the job on the spot. Now, this vehicle brought me a couple more things that I did not expect. In this job, I had made friends, I had got promoted in a year, and I had got a car. My boyfriend and I moved up to the penthouse apartment. And so life was like looking good. And I started to rebuild. We ended up getting engaged and married, and life was starting to really look good. And then my grandmother died. She died 2 weeks before our wedding. So it was another time for me to take a second and really think about my life. Watching somebody that you love go through life and get to the place where they're at the end of their life, it really puts into perspective for you how much you need to go after a certain kind of life or or become a certain kind of person because we all have an expiration date. And I quickly realized that I had never chased my dreams. How sad is that? So I say all this to say that sometimes you think that you're at your peak, and there's really so much more for you. Have you taken a second? And I challenge you to take a second and think about your life and where you are. Do you feel like you're at your peak? Or do you feel like there's more for you? And if there is more for you, have you thought about it? Have you thought about your dreams? How you even are going to accomplish them? What even is a first step in your dreams? Maybe you have another level of purpose. If you are a person that's filled with anxiety, like I was, maybe God has some more peace for you. Or maybe if you're a person that is filled with negative self talk and it's just constantly negative self talk in your brain, maybe there's some confidence that you need to gain. Maybe if you can't get out of bed in the morning, that you struggle to find purpose in just getting up, there's probably some purpose deep down inside you that you haven't given light to yet. An impact that you can leave on this world that's bigger than you, that's something that you can leave behind. That's why I'm on this journey to becoming her. She is the woman that I pictured in college that had gone after her dreams. And she was courageous enough to keep taking steps towards being the woman that she needs to be and that she wanted to be. And I realized that nobody's going to pop up and just give us our dreams. Nobody's going to pop up and just make us the person that we think that we want to be. You're going to have to put in the work. So, in this community, we are making intentional steps in order to become the women and the people that we want to be, that's true to us. We have a responsibility to take those steps, to be intentional about this one life that we have. Are you being intentional? Do you think about it? What steps are you taking on an everyday basis to try to reach your goals and your dreams? I need community, you need community, and we need each other. So let's take these steps together. Please, I encourage you to like, comment, and subscribe. Join this community. We need each other. Okay, iron sharpens iron. Okay, let's sharpen each other so we can reach our goals and hit our destiny. There's purpose within us, and it is our job to chase after that purpose. Thanks for watching, girl. I'll see you next time.